What's going on, guys? Hopefully you're having a good day so far and are preparing for an awesome weekend coming up. So I know it has been a long time since I posted, like a long time. I get it. It was a month a couple of days ago, and before I start with the video that I've got today, I really did kind of want to talk to you guys about the reasoning behind why I haven't posted in a while. So a few things going on in my life right now. One, obviously with everything going on in the world right now, things are a little bit crazy, so hard to manage work and everything that's going on and a home life. It's kind of complicated right now, so I'm definitely trying to figure out the best schedule and incorporate YouTube and taking care of you guys as much as I possibly can. Number two, I was just recently on vacation, so I've got a vacation that I go to the same place every single year, so I was gone for about a week and a half. So up there I wasn't filming or anything. I was really kind of just taking the time to shut off my phone, kind of just get away from normal life for a while and just relax. So no video was like posted at all when I was out there, and that was something that I was really concerned about, and I want to apologize for that. And then the last one that I've got for you guys, and this is something that not a lot of you might know, but I'm getting married actually pretty soon here. So I proposed to my fiance in December and we get married in January. So we're only 4 months away, and it feels like we are in crunch time. Like we got no time to do anything. So that has really taken up the majority of my free time at home. You know, as soon as we have any time free together when we're both not working, it's really been devoted to getting this wedding figured out, exactly how we're going to coordinate everything. And especially with everything going on in the world, it just kind of makes it that much more complicated and difficult to plan a bigger event. So that's really taken up a lot of my time, and I just want to apologize that I haven't gotten a video out recently for you guys. So for today, I did want to kind of take a break away from the series that we've been doing. We just finished up the offensive side of the ball, looking at the roster for the Dolphins coming into the 2020 season. And I'm just going to take a little bit of break with that for you guys and give you something a little bit different. And we're still going to be talking just the offense today, but I do want to talk about the top 5 players that you guys should be looking out for coming into this season. So I'm going to do the offensive side of the ball today. We'll do the defensive side of the ball after that, and then we'll go ahead and get back into our regular series going position by position, and then we'll be taking a look at the defensive side of the ball for the 2020 season. So to start things off with our top 5 players to look out for in 2020, we're going to go from 5 all the way to the absolute best guy you got to keep your eye out for. So right now at top 5, at number 5 is going to be Malcolm Perry. Now, for those of you who don't know a ton about Malcolm Perry, he spent 4 years playing football at Navy, and the guy was really, really versatile. Malcolm Perry should be a really good fit in this like positionless type of football that Brian Flores likes to play, because he really was used at, pretty much every single skill position that you could play for on the offensive side of the ball through his time with Navy. Took some significant snaps at quarterback. Running back was a big one for him, and then he also did spend some time as a slot receiver. So the versatility is definitely there. It's just a matter of how the Dolphins are going to use him. So for 3 straight years at Navy, Malcolm Perry rushed for at least 1,000 yards, and his final season, his senior year playing for Navy, he capped off his entire career in college with 2,017 rushing yards and 21 touchdowns. So this guy clearly showed that he is a premier rushing presence, at least he was in college. So he ended his career and wound up finding a place in Miami in the 7th round of the NFL draft, which to me I thought was a steal. I really did like Malcolm Perry coming in. The versatility is absolutely there. The shiftiness, the kind of raw athleticism is absolutely there. So I was expecting him to go a little bit higher, maybe 6th round. So the fact that the Dolphins got him in the 7th round of the draft, super thumbs up. I like that move a lot, and he's definitely someone to keep your eye on. So I'm expecting some significant time for Malcolm Perry running with the special teams unit coming into the season. I just think that especially with the lack of training camps and preseason games, and honestly, even if we have a football season, who knows? But if we do, I just think there hasn't been enough time for him to really gel with the guys, show what he can do offensively. So I think he's going to be plugged in a lot on the special teams unit, but there's tons of room for him to really kind of sneak his way in. I could definitely see him taking a handful of snaps as a slot wide receiver. He did that plenty in college, and with a couple of our guys taking a step back and not playing for the 2020 season, I think it's kind of a wide open door for anybody to kind of take over that position and do something for the team. So Malcolm Perry is definitely a guy to keep your eyes on, guys. He is a rookie. He is going to have struggles, and it's not a very good football team, so I wouldn't expect him to be a superstar, but I definitely think he has a lot to offer to this team, especially in the special teams unit kind of right out of the gate. So Malcolm Perry, that's your number 5. At number 4 for the top 5 players to look out for in the 2020 season for the Miami Dolphins is going to be Jakeem Grant. Now, Jakeem Grant is definitely a player that you want to be looking out for coming this season. After inking a 4-year, $24 million extension with Miami, he's really kind of just lacked taking the steps and progressing much to earn that contract. Now, we all know who Jakeem is. He is one of the fastest players in the league, really explosive. He is always consistently one of the best special teams performers in the NFL. But along with that comes like a ton of injuries, and he's just not the most consistent player on the offensive side of the ball. He seems to struggle a lot with his hands. He does drop too much, in my opinion. He is fast and shifty, but he doesn't have the most, diverse route tree. I would like to see him be able to run some more routes other than quick slants and kind of just streaking down the field. If he can get his route tree developed a little bit, I could definitely see him taking a step forward coming this season. Now, he has been putting in like a ton of work on this offseason, especially with the extended time for him to work on his own and with his personal training. So for those of you who have been keeping up with his social media on Instagram or whatever, he has been putting in a lot of work off the field, spending time on the beach, trying to develop his routes in the sand, which is pretty tough. So if he can develop those routes, like I said, I think it really opens him up to play better football. I think altogether he's obviously one of the fastest people on the field, but there are also a lot of fast cornerbacks, and there are also a lot of fast safeties and linebackers. When you get into the NFL, everyone's fast. So if you're just a speed guy, sometimes that's just not going to cut it. You're going to have to develop your technical abilities on the football field to really do a whole lot. So that's what I think Jakeem needs to do coming into this season, and he seems like he's really putting in a lot of work to develop those skills. So like I said with Malcolm Perry, with the Dolphins receiving core really kind of taking a few hits with guys like Allen Hurns and Albert Wilson taking a seat for the season, the door is really wide open. Like I said, exactly for Malcolm Perry, the door is open for anybody to really kind of come in and take over this slot role on the offensive side of the ball. I think Jakeem Grant is absolutely the front runner for that. He has spent time consistently on the offensive side of the ball, and I would like to see him put some significant time in at the slot. It really is like the perfect time for Jakeem Grant to come in and earn that contract extension. Show people I am worth the $6 million a year that I'm getting paid. This is my contract. I am earning it. I'm going to put in some time with Miami, and I'm going to show you good progression. So if Jakeem Grant can do that, he justifies his contract, but it can't be just 1 year. He's got to do it consistently. Can't be just one big awesome game, because he's had those before. So he has to consistently show in this 2020 season that he has earned that contract, and because of that, I think he knows that. I think he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. So that's why he's your number 4 player to keep your eyes on coming into the 2020 season. All right, so at number 3, guys, sitting dead in the middle, I put Tua, and we'll get into it. I just really don't have a ton to say here. We all know Tua. We all know his story. We all know what everyone thinks about Tua. So I'm not going to spend like a ton of time telling you guys why you should be keeping your eyes on him, because for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory. But what I do find interesting about Tua is obviously his talent. He's extremely talented, a super gifted athlete and football player, very smart. But what I find the most interesting is this like story surrounding the guy. Tua believers talk about him like he is the absolute second coming of Dan Marino himself, and he is going to lead this team to a Super Bowl his first year on the field. And then on the opposite side of that, the people who are not in favor of Tua talk about him like he is going to be an absolute bust year one, no shot, he's going to suck. So I think just because of the narrative that's surrounding Tua, he is definitely someone you're going to want to keep your eyes on, especially if he can get onto the field this season. I don't know how likely that is. I think for the most part, for those of you who watched the video that I did a month ago with Todd Delker, he said, I think this is Fitzpatrick's job all season. Like, he's not going to give that up. I agree with that. I think this is Fitzpatrick's job all season, but if Tua can manage to get on the field, that is going to be a very interesting narrative that comes along with him. So he is definitely the guy to keep your eye on at the number 3 spot for the Dolphins. All right, at number 2 on our list is a brand new addition to the Miami Dolphins for this season, and that's Matt Breida. The man who calls himself the real cheetah in the NFL is ready to absolutely tear it up for Miami, and I, for one, am super excited to see what he can do on the football field. Now, last year, Matt Breida rushed for 623 yards and only 1 touchdown, and then also totaled 120 receiving yards and only 1 touchdown as well. But he did struggle a lot with injury, and he was also on a team with 2 solid running backs in a scheme that is very running back by committee minded. So don't let the numbers fool you there, especially with the injury considered. Matt Breida still earned a 73.1 Pro Football Focus grade, and that is absolutely for a reason, guys. With less running back talent and competition in Miami, I mean, you got guys like Jordan Howard who's going to be there. And then, I mean, who else do you have? You've got Patrick Laird, Kalen Ballage, Myles Gaskin. Maybe you got Malcolm Perry who's going to come in as a running back sometimes. But guys, honestly, I think Matt Breida is leaps and bounds way better than all of those guys, especially when you look past Jordan Howard. Really just not much competition for Matt Breida to stack up against in this depth chart from Miami. So I just think he has a lot of freedom, a lot of room. He's kind of just in his own zone, on his own island. Jordan Howard and him are probably going to split snaps, but Breida's just going to have a lot more time on the field, a lot more room to operate, just more time to show what he can do on the football field. And I think a lot of it depends on whether he can stay healthy or not. But if he can, he is 100% one of those guys that you should be keeping your eyes open when he comes into this season for Miami. I'm telling you guys, he is ridiculously explosive. I think for most fans of the Dolphins who haven't spent a lot of time looking at Matt Breida, just wait for his first game with the Dolphins. He's going to show you exactly what he brings to the table, and he can do it every game, every year that he's in Miami. He is a fantastic running back. I am very, very high on Matt Breida. I think he's going to bring a ton to the Dolphins, and he is definitely going to be a part of the change for this offensive unit. All right, guys, so the number one player to keep your eyes out for in the 2020 season for the offensive side of the ball for Miami should not come as much of a surprise to hardly anybody who's watching this video. Last year, he had one of the best receiving seasons in the entire NFL, racking up touchdowns, yards, receptions, targets, yards per game, yards per catch. I mean, he was up there with some of the best guys, and that is Devontae Parker, who shockingly was unable to make it onto the NFL Top 100 list. I don't know who was making up this list. I don't know who didn't vote him on. And then when they released the extra, I think it was like 20 or maybe 10 guys, the add-ons kind of on the top, Devontae Parker not being mentioned in the 110 best players in the NFL is so crazy. Last year, Devontae Parker tallied 72 receptions for 1,202 yards, 9 touchdowns, and earned a 79.2 Pro Football Focus grade. How is this man not in the top 110? I mean, it is crazy. And if you guys watched the top 100, you were having receivers who had no business being on that list if Devontae Parker wasn't. So I don't know what it is about the Miami players, man. They put out a good season and they get snuffed, and it is what it is. Maybe because we play in Miami and the team sucks, but it still doesn't take away what he was able to do against some of the absolute best cornerbacks in the league. He is called Uncle Vontae for a reason. He's a beast, and he needs to show it again this year so he can get some props. Devontae Parker is absolutely the number one guy you need to keep your eye on for this season offensively for the Dolphins. And I say that because pretty much the rest of the league is going to be doing the exact same thing. He was one of the best receivers in the league last year, dominated the best cornerbacks in the league consistently, put up some of the best stats. He was absolutely dominant on the football field, and every team has taken note of that, and every coach is going to keep their eye on him. And I wouldn't be surprised if the best cornerback on every team that they play is going to be following Devontae Parker around the field all game long, trying to stop him. And we saw what he did last year with that. So if he can prove it again this year, guys, he is the number one guy to keep your eye on. I really think that he is coming into his own. Late bloomer, but still coming into his own, still shows a ton of promise. I'm really excited to see what he can do on the field this year, and I'm even more curious to see what he can do if Tua gets on the field. So those are two guys, at number 1 and number 3. That's going to be an interesting duo. So we'll see what happens with that, guys. But that'll be the end of the video today with the top 5 offensive players to keep your eye on. And like I said, next time, the next video, hopefully in the next few days to a week here, I'll be putting out the top 5 defensive players to keep your eye on as well. So thank you a ton for watching, guys. I really appreciate all the support the subscriptions, the likes, comments, all that good stuff. It really does mean a ton. And if you liked this video, please leave a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and hit that bell too so that you know when we're putting out videos like this and tons other. I do have a lot of really cool ideas coming out for you guys soon. Also, guys, be sure to leave a comment. You think that I'm right, wrong, you think I'm an idiot, you think that I'm smart, whatever, just leave it down below. I would love to talk with you guys and go from there. So appreciate you guys watching the video. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend coming up, guys, and I will see you next time for sure. And as always, fins up.